Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And you'll be glad you did. Take us along with you. And for you and others know that you tune in to Radio We Can See, you can see us right here. I want to say happy Monday to Sister Fedora, Miss Farmer, and Charlene, and Carl, and to Ron and Katrina, and to Mark, and I don't know, it's just so many people. Jackie, you got a Jackie too, Sabiti. Who you want to say hey to?
Shout outs to Brother Professor Michael Griggs, also Derek Muhammad, also Brother Sean, Sister Jackie, my Sister Jackie, and Ruth Ann. And I also want to say, as I say to everyone, number one, have pen and paper handy because you may want to record some information. Second, I want you to, the phone numbers here are area code 313-365-7327. Again, that's 365-7327 or 365-7379. Again, that's 365-7379. And invite your friends, relatives, neighbors, co-workers, church members, block club members, everybody. Tell them to tune in.
All right, and join us. And today, I want to say happy birthday to my son-in-law, Eddie. And we have a birthday lady with us today, right? Kira, okay. And so I have to say, Faraha, Kuzaliwa to you. We love you so much. We love you. We do. Faraha, Kuzaliwa to you. We love you so much. We love you. We do. Faraha, Kuzaliwa from the nation to you. All ancestors send their blessings to you. The seasons are changing for you and for me as we struggle to be strong. African free, Faraha, Kuzaliwa to you. We love you so much. We love you, we do. Faraha, Kuzaliwa to you. We love you so much. We love you, we do.
I love you too.
All right.
Thank
all
you.
right.
Oh, you have such a beautiful voice.
Oh, well, thank you.
Let's
thank
do
you.
that CD.
Uh-oh. All
Brother
right.
Thabiti, you know you can do this.
Well, actually, Theo, just before we get into the show, she actually did the hook on a song that I did. I took her over to the studio, and she actually did a hook for a song. So, yeah, I'm already down.
I know.
I did the rapping, she did the singing.
Oh man, we gotta hear that.
Yes.
I vibed right in on it. Didn't I?
All right. Oh, man. I do want to tell people now that FEMA is here. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And FEMA is very user-friendly this time. You know, the last time they were here, I don't know, they seemed to be angry that they had to come.
Yeah, they were.
Had nasty attitudes and everything. But this time, regarding the flood, August the 24th, FEMA has returned. And you can call them. Very user-friendly. 1, 2, 3. 1, you call them. Let them know about the damage. 2, they call you back for an appointment to come out and inspect. And 3, they call you on the third day and they'll tell you that either a check is coming or whatever other response there is within 7 to 10 days.
Wow. That was different from the last time.
Very. Very. And I believe the number is 1-800-621. No. 612-3361. I think that's what it is. So that's FEMA. So is there any other news that's going on? I would like to know if anyone has received an envelope with about 5 pages in it talking about some kind of foreign subject or object in the water. And they get inspected every so often, from the higher level here. And they were told they did not pass inspection. They were supposed to notify the water users within 30 days. Yeah. First information was March the 28th, I believe it was. And it's strange because the papers in the envelope had also April the 3rd, okay? Then it had another paper with April the 10th. The letter was April the 3rd. The person who signed it on April the 3rd. How is it that you sign a letter that hasn't been written yet? Yeah, well, we're going to see whatever additional information we can find out about, because that's some mysterious circumstances. And we will report, whatever we find out. The beating.
Yes.
Yes. Our guest, our birthday lady this morning, has a lot of things that she wants to tell us. Where would you like to start?
Well, let's let me just say thank you so very much for inviting me, Mama Theo, Queen Mother,
Oh, goodness.
activist. You are a jewel to our community, to the earth, because you are imparting so much gift to us and helping us. We the chosen people of God, Goddess. We are chosen, and we need people like you to keep guiding us, because sometimes we kind of run astray, go astray a little bit, and we kind of lose hope, some of us. But you keep hope alive. You and Brother Thabiti, I'm telling you.
We can't stop. We just can't stop. You may get tired, weary, or whatever, but you can't stop.
Yeah, well, you sure be keeping us going. I thought about today. I said, well, what would I like to say on my birthday? Well, I was born here, in Detroit, Michigan. Excuse me. I was born here. I'm not gonna say what year, but I'm over the hill, so to speak. But but I remember being a little child, going to school and skipping up and down the street, going to the store. My mom would start cooking, and every time she started cooking, we know we had to go to the store about 5 times. I'm like, man, I need y'all to run to the store and get me this. And we just went. We was on Elmhurst and Linwood, right at the '67 rebellion riots. They call it riots, but it was a rebellion.
Right.
We fought against white supremacy then, or what they call white supreme. You're not supreme if you you're not supreme. That's number one. That is not supreme.
Right.
You're not the majority, because you're a minority, a small, tiny minority on the planet. The planet is black, okay?
And it's getting smaller.
Yeah,
They don't like that.
It is. They're diminishing, and and if you would stop doing evil, maybe you would prosper and flourish.
Hey, good.
You're doing
point.
evil and stuff, and God will see you
Yes.
and want to make sure that they limit you.
Stop the disease from spreading.
Right. You sound like Brother MZ. But anyway, we were skipping up and down the street every day about 5, 6 times while Mommy was in the kitchen cooking. We lived on the second floor of the duplex. And as we were going to school at Roosevelt Elementary School, our other students were going to, what is that, Durfee. Let's see, and Central High School. That was all the schools was right there.
Right
But we
in
were
the
going to Roosevelt. And we were starting to notice, and one of the days that we were going 50-11 times, that's what my mom said, 50-11. Didn't I tell you 50-11 times?
50-11.
I said, what is that 5,011 or is that 50-11s? Or it's too many times. Don't do it no more.
Something that 50-11, but there's another 50-11 dozen.
Right. And so we started hearing, if you are a black-owned store, put a black power fist in your window. We was wondering what's that all about. But we were young and, about 7, 8, 9. One time we saw Stevie Wonder getting his hair cut in the barber shop while we passed the barber shop. And then we heard that again. And one incident I remember is when one of our teenager friends, everybody was doo-wopping on the corner because they wanted to get into Motown. They had this is their they chance to get into Motown. So they were sitting out there doo-wopping on the corner, and I remember the Big Four. Remember Stress?
Oh, yes.
Very well.
Okay, they pulled up. We heard them in that big blue and white car. My mother was in the kitchen cooking as usual. And we heard some commotion, and so we stood up, because we were on the porch playing jacks. And we stood up and saw the police just start beating these young men who were standing there doo-wopping on the corner, just beating them mercilessly. We said, Mommy, look. And she said, no, get in the house. And we like, but Mommy. And she said, get in the house. When Mommy holler like that, it's time to go. So we went in, and so Stress was a safe streets, safe streets, it stop robbery, something like that.
I used to know the acronym.
Stop robberies, enjoy safe streets, something like
Yes, yes.
that. Okay, and so these police were regular. As a little kid, we didn't know, but they regularly beat up and maybe even killed people. And so it caused a real stressful thing in our community. The people hated the police.
Yeah.
And it was a regular thing to witness police brutality or to experience it.
Right.
If you were a child, you experienced it. So anyway, we grew up during the rebellion. I remember after that we had to hit the floor because the National Guard had landed at Central High School, Durfee, and Roosevelt, in the complex right there. They landed. We kept seeing all these military vehicles, driving through the streets and the alleys, and then I'll never forget the military helicopter when I heard it flying over the house, and they started shooting through. We had to hit the floor. My mom said, "Get down." We got down. When she hollered,
Wow.
But she said, get down, and we did.
They were shooting from the helicopter?
Yes, from the
Oh,
helicopters, all through the house. Talking about it was some snipers.
Right,
There wasn't no
right.
snipers out there. It was them. They were the
Oh,
snipers.
no. Oh, wow.
I learned then, Queen Mother Theo, I learned at that early, young, tender age that the government was against us. The United States government is against black people. I learned early when I saw our friends getting beat up. I learned then. So that started my journey in righteousness. I want us to get what we got coming, and that is reparations.
Agreed.
A few things that are interesting that you said. One, Central, most people may not know, I believe, if I'm correct, it's the oldest high school in Detroit. I think it was the first high school in Detroit, Central. So, and when you look at the building, you can see it does have ancient features. The other thing, when you mentioned Stress, I recall I was living, I'm going to call them the Jeffrey Housing Condominiums. They call them something else.
Oh.
I would call them condos. Cause
Condominiums.
they call them the P word.
Projects.
Yeah. And I remember we weren't that far from Wayne State, and I do recall when Stress was, we were so close to Wayne State that they would have guys posing as bums or alcoholics, that
Right.
type of thing, with a little money sticking out of their pocket, trying to tempt us young teenagers to, bum rush the guy, so that way they could come up on us. Because living in those
wow.
Jeffrey housing thing, the big four were the only ones that would come through there. Regular police didn't come through there because they just were intimidated by that whole environment. But the big four, since they carried shotguns and things in their trunk, they was looking for some action. So I just wanted to bring that up because, yes, I've had my experiences with stress too, and I had to tell my boys, no, man, don't mess with them, because I was becoming conscious at that point in my life as well. Yeah. And,
Wow.
yeah, so they kept us in place, but then I think that's where my activism began as well. Yes.
We all became active at that point, Queen Mother Theo, because you had to be aware. Your
Yeah.
consciousness was raised at that point because you knew that you were under attack, and black people are still under attack.
Right.
So today I want to attack the pigs.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oink, oink.
All the pigs that have been looting black people. You know, we were all black. We still are all black city. And I want to read
That way.
a couple of
Oh,
points.
I'm sorry. Okay. Mm-hmm. Go
A
ahead.
couple of points from Mama Agnes Hitchcock. That's my shero.
Go ahead.
It's Agnes Hitchcock wrote a justification for being P the F off. That's the way she put that.
Oh, my.
She said what it took to drive black people out of Detroit. Number one, black generational wealth stripped from our community by destroying black home ownership. The Detroit City Council approved $60 million tax waiver for billionaire Dan Gilbert, but refused to refund or give credit for $600 million of property taxes overcharged. Since we got all that money from the NFL, y'all need to pay us back. Y'all got a lot of money now. I don't want to hear nothing about we don't have the money. Excuse me. Mike Duggan's administration participated in stealing $600 million plus in over-assessed taxes. They're saying plus because people are still being overtaxed. Why don't you just stop it? Don't even charge people property taxes. You know, why are you charging people taxes that they don't own?
Right.
Okay, and those property owners lost over 100,000 homes with this illegal gangster thing that they pulled.
Oof.
Because if you can't pay the illegal city taxes, then they charge you for the illegal taxes. They charge you illegal interest and penalties. Okay, illegal interest and penalties, and then when you can't pay those illegal taxes and penalties, then they put it over to Eric Sabri. I understand he was on the show, was on your podcast yesterday. I'm interested in knowing what he said. But then it goes over to the county. Then the county tax on an additional interest and penalties, along with more illegal taxes. Okay, so, you know, this is illegal. This is gangster. This is what you call mob type things, you know, extortion. Excuse me. Mike Duggan participated in stealing this money. So we are demanding repayment for our people, because when you steal wealth like that, you're stealing wealth from black people who actually did not have as much wealth. We had a wealth disparity between whites and blacks. Whites make at least, 20 times more wealth than black people. They have all the wealth.
Yes.
And they got that wealth through enslavement.
Yes.
They enslaved us and made us work for free and made them even more richer. That's why we deserve reparations.
Right. 76 cents versus $1. For every $1 that they earn is 76 cents that our people earn.
One thing I like to add too, and I'm gonna let the sister continue, is when she said the 100,000 homes that we lost, one of the things that destroys also is generational wealth as well, because we can't pass that down to our children and then them to their children. We're just out, and I noticed this is just something that's sort of come by. I noticed, and I think it's been posted on Facebook a few times. They're bringing Section 8 back. Well, it's always been there, but what they're doing is they're putting it in a position where if you accept Section 8, then you have to move out of the city of Detroit. There's, whether it's I know somebody who had to move to Inkster, for instance. Some other people who were moving out, like in the areas of East Point or St. Clair Shores, etc. So I'm gonna let you continue, sister. But that 100,000 homes that we lost is also generational wealth.
Exactly.
That started with Dennis Archer becoming mayor. And there's a member of Hood Research who worked in that department. And the workers in that department were told that you tell the receiver of the Section 8 that they have to move out of the city. And they said, well, maybe next year or so you can move back in Detroit. Who wants to be moving back and forth?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense at all. And that has been going on for years. And it is to reduce the number of black people in the city of Detroit. We were close to 2 million residents. 2 million. Now we barely have 500,000.
We do have a caller,
Oh,
and we will allow them to become a part of the
Join us.
conversation. Hello, caller.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
happy Monday.
Oh, okay. Happy Earth Day. Happy birthday to the sister in the house.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're right on point. I love me some Agnes Hitchcock. That pissed the F off that she did. She did a great job covering all the injustices that happen to our cities and our cities and our communities. But I just want to turn right quick and give us some information for our children. We got a program called Discover Your Spark, and that's a program that you can go online and look it up. It's called discoveryourspark.org. It's got after-school programs for 4 to 18-year-olds. Most of the programs are free or low cost for the Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County areas.
Awesome.
And Theo, I wanted to make sure you got the information about Delta Tech Ops. Delta Tech Ops. It's DeltaTECHU.com.
Okay, wait.
Real slow,
Delta.
please.
Wait a minute. The first word is a Delta.
Yeah, well, I'm spelling out the thing for you. It's
Okay.
DELTATECHU.com.
So,
And it's a Delta Tech Ops. And what they do is they're going to get the children in the aviation program, aircraft maintenance technicians. So there's another way. They got most schools are eligible for financial aid and DA educational benefits.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, did you say that's
Awesome.
.org?
It's .com.
.com, okay.
Delta TECHU.com.
Okay,
And
great.
the other one is Discover Your Spark.
Spark.
.org.
Your art. Art, like an artist.
I can barely hear you guys.
Okay. Discover.
Okay, I just wanted to just give y'all some information so we can share for our
Oh, yeah,
community to save our
definitely.
youth.
Definitely.
You sound familiar. What's your name?
This is Flat Soul Silverado. Sylvia, how y'all doing?
Oh, I thought so. Hi, Sylvia. You know you can't get by Tahira now. I've heard you on many shows with your beautiful poetry. Do you have a
Thank you.
poem for us right quick?
Not really. I was just trying to give y'all some information, but I'm just going to say keep our
Okay.
heads up and keep our youth
Okay.
in mind, and let's continue to do what we have to do and
Thank you.
grind.
Thank you. Bless you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
All
All
right,
We-
love you,
right.
sir.
Love you
All right.
more.
Yeah.
Peace out.
And believe it or not, here we are at break time already.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. Time, as they say, just flies by. She
When
was
you're
talking.
having fun.
Yes, she was talking about Delta. How about that? Anyway, it's time for our first break. Refresh your orange juice, coffee, milk. Call who you know who needs to get information from us. And we'll be back momentarily.
I'm James Ford, founder of the Obama Weekend, and a partner of the Hood Research Team, composed of the knowledgeable Theo Broden, the super analyst Henry, and the colorful Al Martin. This team discusses politics, seen and not seen, at the national, state, and local level. But to enhance the goals of this team, join or donate to Hood Research by visiting Twitter or Facebook, or visit hoodresearch.org, or call 248-234-2371. You can also join Hood Research on Phonecast every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by calling 978-990-5000. Access code 338729. Thank you very much.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there's gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wally Woodland here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew.
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the chew germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpina,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And take us along with you. Always remember that. We are back with our birthday lady, Tahira, and she was going over some history. You know, mega folks, hate is really running rampant and with that group. So we have to encourage our people to call others, be a commercial, a walking billboard, let people know the election is coming up. Let them know that they can become a precinct delegate, which is an elected position, and good to have, good to know. And we will need to share the new locations for some of the precincts, because the lower population has made it necessary for the precincts to be merged together.
Now, what I'd like to do now in the last half of the show, we're in the middle part of the show now, just for our viewing and listening audience. Last part of the show, I want to touch a little bit on melanin, something we wanted to speak about when we were in the other studio within WHPS, WHPR, because I think that lack of melanin has caused our adversary to be jealous and to behave in the way that they do out of jealousy. But that's all right. We can handle it. And when Sister Tahira was mentioning about one of our sheroes, many of which are, we have Theo, Agnes Hitchcock, of course, Queen Mother, Helen Moore, Tahira Ahmed herself. But one of the things I wanted to say is when Tahira was saying to Theo that she appreciated the fact that Theo pushes us, I think back to myself having studied a lot of our history from the time we hit here and even before, that had our people not pursued, we wouldn't be where we're at now. So we should never lose sight of that there were the Sojourner Truths, the Harriet Tubmans, the Denmark Vesey's, the Frederick Douglass, etc. So had those folks not did what they did against in what the odds that they were going against, we can't even imagine based where we're at now. So let us always remember that there was someone who already paved the road, and we still have to smooth it out now.
Yes,
okay,
we do.
Yeah, we have to smooth the road out, but we have to remember that somebody even defined the road for us to travel on to get where we're at. So let us never lose sight of that.
And that's why we celebrate Sankofa, that which means go back and fetch it. My hero is Nat Turner. I love me some Nat Turner because look at the odds that he faced. Slavery had to be so, enslavement had to be so brutal that he felt the only thing that we could do, or he could do, was to kill everybody on the plantation, Massa, Massa's wife, Massa kid, the family dog, everybody had to go. And then we going from plantation to plantation. Now that is extreme, but it was extreme circumstances that caused that.
I agree.
And one of the things I want to say, we do have, or did have then, we can think of John Brown in particular, and he did meet here in Detroit. So Detroit is very significant, but John Brown was one of those people who also understood that the injustices of enslavement and said, I'm willing to put my life on the line for it. So we do have allies. There are a few, and the rest of y'all out there who are kind of viewing us, it's time for you to step up too as well. Those are just, and I can think of some other current day ones. Some of you may
Viola
know.
Liuzzo.
Viola Liuzzo. I think of currently Jane Elliott, who's trying to enlighten a lot of people. There's another man, I forget what his profession is, but his name is Tim Wise, and he's
Yeah,
out there
Tim
putting his life on the line. He's received death threats, etc. But there are some people who just understand about injustice, and even in their mind and their heart, they say, no, this ain't right. So let us realize we do have some allies, but we want more, but let us first coalesce among ourselves.
Yes, I agree 100%. So now I'm barbecuing pigs today, and so now let's go on with the pig barbecue. After the takeover of our public school system, Mike Duggan administration participated in stealing $600 million in over-assessed property taxes, causing property owners to lose homes for taxes never owed, and refused to give a credit or refund. Then came back to ask for $250 million more in proposal in using our homes as collateral. This is Queen Mother Agnes Hitchcock's memorandum. Pissed the F off. After the takeover of our public school system to make way for profit-driven charter schools and the dismantling of Detroit public schools, Mike Duggan got the first $80 million of our $1.5 billion that was intended to upgrade Detroit public school buildings, which are now abandoned eyesores or given away for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what's happening now, because I remember when we would see children going to school down the street. I'm down the street from Bethune. That's boarded up, been boarded up for years. Sometimes I have to keep calling and tell them, look, the boards are off, But now it's, Mike Duggan was supposed to take that $80 million and fix those buildings, And when we had the fake bankruptcy, we had the emergency manager that was imposed on us unconstitutionally, that stole our school system, stole our schools, and ran our children out of the city. Now, as our Queen Mother Agnes Hitchcock put it, we're a bunch of refugees in our own city. So after the takeover of our public schools to make way for profit-driven charter schools and dismantling of Detroit public schools, Mike Duggan got the first $80 million and of our $1.5 billion that was intended to upgrade Detroit public school buildings, which are now abandoned. Corporate slumlords feeding off renters who lost their homes to $600 million property tax theft. A $350,000 no bid booty call for Mayor Mike Duggan.
Well,
Paramore under the cover of a nonprofit studying black infants and new mothers. Now, this is Mike Duggan had an affair with Sonia Hassan. Okay, this is a Jewish man, Mike Duggan. This is a Irish man having an affair with an Arab woman, and he was married to a Jewish woman. I find this very fascinating. He divorced his Jewish wife and married the Arab mistress, but the mistress was Dr. Sonia Hassan. Her and Wayne State University colluded with Mike Duggan to get, $350 million for her Make Your Date charity. And it's supposed to help the infant mortality rate in Detroit, help lower it. We haven't heard from Sonia Hassan, Dr. Hassan. She heard it when she became First Lady, and Dana Nessel was investigating Mike Duggan for this impropriety. Mike Duggan, Alexis Wiley erased city emails to cover it up. Okay, so now she deleted emails, but then they said they recovered them. Okay, Dana Nessel started investigating it, she sat on it for she's the catch and kill here in Detroit. Sit on it for 2 years and then dismissed the investigation. When she dismissed the investigation, Mike Duggan went on and married her, Sonia Hassan. So anyway, this is another little Trump. Okay, a $350,000 no bid booty call. That's what Agnes called it. That's what it was, because he was, the way we found out was Robert Carmack, who Mr. Duggan had a beef with. He had a beef with Robert Carmack, and Carmack. This is why you don't mess with people with money, especially Caucasian people with money. He had a private investigator follow Mike Duggan from the city county building out there to Sonia Hassan's house where they were having their rendezvous, okay? Okay, so he had the private investigator follow him out there. Now, see, Mr. Duggan, he's the mayor of Detroit. He's got security details, okay? He didn't have a security with him. Somebody, somebody could have kidnapped him. All kind of things could have happened. But see, the media in Detroit is going to be real quiet about all of this, this is unprecedented. Excuse me. So after the investigation was dropped by AG Dana Nessel, because, they're all Democratic Party and, they all affiliate and everything. She dropped the investigation. Right after that, he marries Sonia Hassan. But, in the meantime, his wife divorced him. They were married 30 years. So this is, again, well, I'm barbecuing pigs.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and I'll let you continue, sister. We had Robert Carmack on at least once, if not twice, and he actually brought up the fact that they're still trying to pursue him and get at him because I guess like Trump, Duggan's vengeance hasn't found an end to itself. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to keep applying pressure, even though, as you said, and I agree that Nessel just went on ahead and let it slide. But Carmack came on this station and actually said the things that you're saying now, and that it's still not over. They're still trying to find other devious ways to undermine him. But we have to understand who we're dealing with. Another thing, and maybe Theo, you can speak to this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Duggan over the EAA at one point?
Yes, at Eastern University.
Yeah, I forgot what the acronym EAA stood for, but it had something to do with the educational system here in Detroit. And just to put another little footnote on there, I have friends who worked at DMC when Mike Duggan was over there also, and they say how the system went down under his temporary administration. I'm not sure what his title was, but I know that he was over DMC at some point. I think that was prior to the EAA, and things started to deteriorate there. So basically whatever he's put his hands on, just like Trump's casinos and his steaks and his vodka, the stuff just seems to fall off instead of staying stable or even building up. So it's an interesting thing, but I'm going to let you continue, Sister
The
Taylor.
EAA was the Education Achievement Authority.
Right, okay.
Excuse me. It was continued in 2017 that schools were returned to the Detroit Public Schools. So what they did was we had passed $1.5 billion for our school system because we had African-centered education in all the schools, mandatory. Excuse me. We had our own Detroit Public Schools radio station. Our children were learning broadcasting there. We had many other things that were stolen in the fake bankruptcy. Detroit was not bankrupt. The state owed the Detroit city over $600 million. There's that $600 million to $1 billion because we had passed that. We had passed that ballot proposal to tax ourselves more so that we could take care of teacher retraining and, take care of our schools. And Mike Duggan was over that. And everything Mr. Duggan touches, he destroys. I'm sorry. Y'all, you might have some real fans of Mike Duggan. I apologize, hurt your feelings, but we're giving facts here. This is not about a vendetta or anything. But you see, he enjoys white privilege, and the media has given him a pass, and Dana Nessel has given him a pass, not just on the Make Your Date scandal, but also in that no bid bid rigging that he did for the demolition project. I mean,
Right.
you know, that he even got fined. The city of Detroit got fined by the state of Michigan because of Mr. Duggan's illegal practices in the no bid demolitions. We had to pay millions of dollars. The other thing, I'm still barbecuing here, Mr. Duggan is the one, he is the Wayne County prosecutor in the Malice Green
Right.
murder by two racist white cops, Larry Nevers and Butson. I forget what his first name was, but anyway, they beat Malice Green to death over there, and is that?
On Warren.
Yep, on 23rd.
Right. 23rd.
Beat
Warren.
him to death in his car, and the medical examiner Jaraki determined that it was a homicide, and Wayne County prosecutor Mike Duggan muscled him, told him, "Look, don't say it's homicide. I want you to change that. I want you to say that Malice Green died of
Crack cocaine.
crack and alcoholism." And Jaraki said, no, I'm not changing it. So Mike Duggan had him fired, took his job.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah, took his job. And Jaraki turned around and sued Wayne County and got $2.1 million. Here's Mr. Duggan costing us more money. You know, he needs to go, okay? But I think he's going to be running for governor. But you all shouldn't even vote for him. All right, here we are still barbecuing. Corrupt, inept, coward, self-serving, subservient, and weak Detroit City Council that behaves as if they must have Mike Duggan's approval to vote no on his issues harmful to black Detroiters. City Council is a separate arm of city government whose main responsibility is approval, reject, and budget in the interest of the people. I gotta give the City Council props, though, on a couple of things. The City Council passed one ordinance and two proposals. The ordinance was a property tax reform ordinance, because we found out with the $600 million illegal overtaxation the problem was in the assessor's office, one of the problems. The assessor, Alvin Horn, under Mike Duggan, all knew that they were over-assessing us. The other thing is Mike Duggan used to be a census taker, so he knew what was happening. He knew that overtaxation was happening. He kept doing it, and he's still doing it to this very day. So I got to give City Council props because the women of City Council. Then here come the men at the end to pass the two proposals for Coalition for Property Tax Justice, which was saying that we should do a study. The city of Detroit should do a study and find out if they are still overtaxing us. And the city refused to do it, even though this is a law. They were supposed to do this study. They didn't do the study. So our Queen Mother, Professor Bernadette Atuahene over the Coalition for Property Tax Justice, she said, I'm going to go ahead and find out if the University of Chicago can go ahead and do the study. So they did the study, found out that 72% of the lowest valued homes are still being illegally overassessed. So on this proposal, we were asking that we want the city of Detroit to take those 72% of those homes that were the lowest valued homes, illegally being still overassessed, to take 30% off their property taxes
Just annually?
across the board. Yes.
Annually until they get down to
Yep.
the amount they actually took.
Yes. And so
That's good.
they They refuse to do it. Mr. Duggan refused to do it. I refuse to call him Mayor Mike Duggan. Okay, this is my opinion. It has nothing to do with the show, the station, or anything. So I'm going to put a disclaimer on myself. I'm just barbecuing some pork. But Mr. Duggan, can do this. He does not need anything. He can do right across the board. He can implement these two resolutions, but he's been stepping in the way of it. He is preventing it. So that means he purposely and continues to illegally overtax black
Right.
people.
Have you considered making it an ordinance or code or whatever they want to call it, and put it on the ballot so we can vote for it? Have you thought about doing
Yes, yes, that is the move we need to make, because we see now we ain't getting help from him. He says he's going to try to run for governor. I hope you do, and then maybe we'll be rid of you. Okay, here we are, Detroit homes being overassessed. Sambo Black Churches, this is Agnes Hitchcock speaking. Sambo Black Churches Council of, excuse me, of Baptist pastors and vicinity civil rights organizations such as the NAACP and former Mayor Coleman A. Young appointees on a take or on their knees. Blight tickets, administrative court, Belle-Isle, hijacked, our beautiful island was stolen. Detroit Water and Sewage Department stolen. Eastern Market Authority giveaway. Detroit Zoo Authority giveaway. Cobo Hall stolen. $300 garbage fee. And she's got several more. I know you all want to step in here, but
I'm trying to write it all down.
I give you a copy. Selling off of low-income health care facilities, privatization of Detroit civil service jobs, limited employment for Detroit residents, a white occupying police force, lost residency, brutalizing peaceful protesters, insurance redlining, no auto insurance traffic tickets, driver's responsibility fines and fees. We remember that. Made up bankruptcy started with Lifetime Achiever, Sambo, Dennis Archer's faulty computer system, deliberate neglect and closing of Detroit's Children's Zoo and Fish Aquarium. Your tax dollars for billionaires, sports stadiums, the finger for you. 3 freeloading casinos. How does a city go bankrupt with 3 casinos? Dismantling of Recorder's Court for convicting murdering white policemen Larry Nevers and Walter Butson. Walter, that was his name. Walter Butson, who killed Mellis Green. Dismissal of voters elected school board. Sambo board installed, Black Detroit civil servants pension stolen, in contrived bankruptcy after carrying white retired civil servants until their deaths. Tax abatements, corporate welfare, schools closed, children driven from school, no schools in the neighborhood. Excuse me. Detroit's children now refugees wandering in Section 8 wilderness of East Point, a.k.a. East Detroit, Roseville, Warren, Oak Park, Novi, Southfield, and other foreign places. Section 8 housing in suburbs and eliminated in Detroit. Residency eliminated, resulting in our tax dollars providing a better life for those who choose not to live in Detroit. Grant money, now loan money. You can't qualify. Tax breaks for infiltrators, tax increase for you. Inflated property tax assessments, homes taken illegally and made easily available for infiltrators, tow companies, and corrupt Detroit corrupt Detroit police officers stealing residents' cars and demanding ransom. Andre Spivey taking bribes from tow companies. And by the way, Scott Benson is still under FBI investigation for that tow truck scandal.
Oh, okay.
And Mike Duggan has, he outed the FBI informant talking about he didn't know. You used to be a prosecutor. How you not know he's not to do that? Okay,
Subjective ignorance. And we're getting down to the last 3 minutes of this particular segment.
Oh, my goodness. Do you have anything left on that list?
I have 3 more. Okay, let's see. Demolition, no bid corruption, deliberate neglecting, destruction of Detroit's neighborhoods, homes lost due to the accelerating of property tax foreclosures from 5 years to 3 years. Remember when we used to have 5 years before they foreclosed on the house? A loss of agreed upon revenue sharing from the state of Michigan, neighborhood park restrictions. Oh, she got another couple more. Neighborhood park restrictions to make interlopers comfortable, water shutoffs and repeated water rate increase, bus service cuts, corporate lighting authority ended, Detroit Lighting Department, Library Commission no longer Detroit Libraries, Detroit Port Authority no longer Detroit Port, Detroit Art Institute Authority no longer Detroit Art Institute.
And we are really approaching
the second set.
top of this hour. But we will be back, and we want you to be back as well. And this is a time for you to refresh, as Theo would say, your beverage of choice. And have a few of your friends and acquaintances also tune in. This is too much information for you not to gather and then to share.
All right. So, as I said earlier, you can refresh your beverage and call somebody, tell them to look in, even if it's for the last segment. There's a lot to be learned. We'll be back momentarily.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wooly Woodlet here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the chew germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
All media platforms are engaged.
Copy.
Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3, 2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV. Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am the BD Impinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And we are back. I hope that all of you had your pen and papers handy today, because we are receiving so much information from our birthday lady. And happy birthday once again.
Thank you, Queen Mother. Appreciate you. Okay, I left off at, because we were reading what our Queen Mother activist, Agnes Hitchcock. You know, I love this lady because what she did when she found out that she was being overtaxed, she called us and said, look at your taxes. And she said, no, she was teed off again. She said, and we went down to the city county building now in Coleman, a young municipal building. We went down, it was about 1,000 up there, us Queen Mother.
On the first floor?
Yes, on the floor, and we shut the whole building down for the rest of the day.
Oh,
And
Lord.
we were irate, we were loud, and they had to close it down. Some of us got on the elevators and
What is it, the 11th floor that goes across?
yes.
What floor is that?
Oh, that's
Lydia?
what is it?
Where-
Third?
It's a bridge that goes across to the hotel, and then there's another bridge that goes to the Renaissance Center or something.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you know,
It took over.
we shut it down because we want our money and stop overtaxing. They didn't get the message, I guess. But we'll be back. Don't even. Let me go back to this. Okay, number 44: water shutoffs and repeated water rate increases. Bus service cuts. Corporate Lighting Authority ended. Detroit Lighting Department. Library Commission no longer Detroit Library. Detroit Port Authority no longer Detroit Port. Now this is important because we're right across from another
Country.
Detroit, we own this. We're going to get our stuff back. This is what I want to do for my birthday.
All right.
We want everything back you stole. Let's see. Detroit Art Institute Authority no longer Detroit Art Institute. Corrupt Land Bank Authority, just another way to steal Detroit homeowners' property. Camp Brighton, Detroit Children's Summer Camp, sold for pennies on the dollar.
Right. That was, wait, excuse me. That was sold when Dennis Sargent was mayor, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was one of the first things he did.
And anybody that knows about the Boulay, Dennis Archer
Absolutely.
is a Boulay member.
Yes.
It's a secret black organization instituted to impede the progress of black people.
Similar to what would be called the Skull and Bones for those
Yale
who graduate
University.
from the Yale University, exactly. And they operate in the same fashion as the Skull and Bones, except that they seek to control, to manipulate, and to misguide us into what we should do. And they do have, and I'll have it the next time I come on, I have the address of the Boule. When I used to work for the government at the post office, a lot of things came through there, and I was taking a lot of notes. So y'all better get ready, because I got the legitimate stuff, you know, that they can't hide on themselves. But yeah, the Boule is a very real thing. As a matter of fact, those of you who listen, I would just encourage you. I've been doing this quite a bit lately. Boule, and there may be an apostrophe on the E.
over the E.
Over the E. But just Google that on, not Google that, but put that on YouTube. A lot of information comes up. Because fortunately, that's still a platform where if you have ideas, good or bad, because I mean the KKK use it as well, but and other racist hate organizations. But yeah, Google or YouTube Boule with the apostrophe over the E, Boule, and you will be enlightened beyond your imagination. Now, if you just want to hear about Rihanna and Beyonce and 21 Savage, well, then, we can't really work with y'all, because we work on a higher level.
Right, a higher level. And then the Boule is French for he who protects the king. And also look up Brother Steve Coakley. He did extensive work. We brought him in. He was on our radio show before they hijacked and stole it. Wayne State University, Anna Manny stole our radio station and all our tapes of all our shows. We don't know where they're at. They stole the tapes of our shows, you know.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned Steve Coakley. I'll throw this in real quick. When we had, even before he became a city councilman, Brother Kwame Kenyatta had a center over on Dexter. I used to go there, and I actually met Steve Coakley on a number of occasions speaking there. You know, so we have had many wonderful grassroots organizations, but as Sister Tahira is saying, they have found a way to dismantle. I mean, let's look at the Black Panthers. They had the free breakfast program, the medical program, etc. for the community, but they were portrayed, given that negative imagery, so that way they could justify killing Fred Hampton in Chicago and other, same thing with Bobby Seale, Eldridge Cleaver, and Huey P. Newton. So we have to be aware that they have always had someone, particularly FBI, because that's a national organization, infiltrate these organizations so that they could attempt to destroy them. I'm surprised, although I understand they haven't found a way to do with anything with the Nation of Islam and Minister Farrakhan, because he's got a very tight group. But we've got to tighten up every group we've got, from Hood Research on up.
COINTELPRO.
Yes.
And what's interesting, this reversal goes back to Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom, from that book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, was a positive man, very positive man. And the next thing you know, years go by, and now people are being called, oh yeah, you Uncle Tom, as if, what?
Right.
There's something wrong, you know?
They mean to call you a Sambo. Sambo was the guy that was that was
the negative one in the
that's a sellout. Sambo was, so that's why Agnes Hitchcock called Dennis Archer as Sambo and some of his other people.
Sambo Awards.
Yeah, the Sambo Awards. She does the Sambo. When you get to vote on who's the Sambo of the year. And you know who got it posthumously? Gary Brown of the Water Department.
He's dead?
No, Gary Brown. You know he's over Detroit Water.
I know who he is, but in posthumously.
I didn't mean posthumously. I mean he receives the award regularly. He don't have to vie for it. He automatically. That's what I meant to say.
Well, wait till you hear more about this information we got on
Camp Brighton, Detroit. Prisons, boot camps to our children, opportunity for their children. No to African town, yes to Pole Town, Chinatown, Mexican town, and their town. African Center School.
And their town.
African Center School converted to a police station and prison pipeline. David Adamany, appointed by Lifetime Achiever Dennis Archer The first CEO of Detroit Public Schools after the takeover was awarded with the transfer stealing of Detroit Public Schools radio station to Wayne State University, where he once served as president. Adamani also canceled contracts put in place by our elected Board of Education and the sale of historic state fairgrounds for $9 million to builders of Amazon warehouses, and on and on and on and on and on. I love Agnes.
I can tell you something that's interesting about Adamani. He was the president of Wayne State University. Underline, university. He left a university to go down to a K through 12. Why would you do that? So,
wow.
We figure it must have been paid well. And his job was to take the building on Putnam, because the Detroit Public Schools owned that building, rented that building, used that building. It had enough rooms for everything that DPS had to take care of. Now, when Adamani successfully took it, plus the excess money that we had, they moved to the Fisher Building.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the sick part about that is they paid $30 million for 5 floors of the Fisher Building. The whole building was on sale for $28 million. I mean, how,
wow.
How do you not know math? Okay,
right. And you over a school, university.
Right, right. Okay, so when they got to the building, Fisher Building that is, the 5 floors were not adequate to handle everything that was to come out of the building that was taken. So they had to look around. Where do we go? Where do we go? They went into the, what do they call it, the Welcome Center, 3031 West Grand Boulevard. And I think at one time used to be Crowley's or something. Then they also were trying to use the building that used to be Saks Fifth Avenue. I mean, you're just spreading yourself all over the place.
We do have a caller who wants to join the conversation. Hello,
Okay.
caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller, you are with us now.
Happy Monday.
Okay, well, you can call back because we're going to be here anyway, and we're going to keep it going. You know, what's interesting, like you said, Theo, and I do recall when Adamani did also made, I mean, it's like me. I've got a house. I'm living in a mansion, right? I'm doing good, but now I want to move to a 2-bedroom bungalow that ain't going to hold all the stuff my mansion used to hold. So now I got to figure out what am I going to do, because I can't operate or function with this 2-bedroom bungalow. But I had a mansion I was living in, which is basically what Adamani did. He said, we're going to move out of the mansion. We're going to move into a 2-bedroom, and we'll have to just use the basement and the attic. But we see that ain't enough room.
And pay for somewhere else.
Yeah.
When you already owned the mansion.
And an outhouse. And they had to get one of those.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, this is Sister Henry, and I'm calling to say peace and love to you and your guests. Thank you, sister, for your dedication, your commitment over the years. My crown goes off to you and Sister Agnes. Thanks so much. A couple of things I want to, I'm not getting I can't hear what you're saying, but I know you're speaking. Hold on one moment. And a couple of things I would like to say having to do with stress. The acronym for stress is Stop the Robbery and Your Safe Streets.
Ah, okay.
Now, there's a number of things that you talked about that I want to add to as well. In the 1967 rebellion, a U.S. military tank parked in front of our home, located on Tillman Street, and began to shoot up into the air. You know, and the sound was so devastating. So I was in my bed. I mean, it just automatically just fell out the bed, and my mother directed us to go and stay on the floor. And the folks were just out there shooting into the air, the tank, that is. So this is and has been a sign to me as a young person. I was in elementary school then. As a young person, that there's something desperately wrong with what this community or this society that we're living in.
Right.
At that time, we did have a community, but I should say society. So my heart goes out to the Palestinians and the other countries that are experiencing this drama of tanks all day long and all this other types of bombs and everything that they're shooting everywhere, destroying our not just our society and our community, but destroying the environment and the earth that we can live on, that we know we can live on. Now, there was a couple other things that you mentioned, and I would like to say so much for No Child Left Behind as it relates to our school system.
Right.
You can say ha, ha, ha on that.
Right.
And some of the other initiatives that they intentionally put forth to destroy our educational system. Because we must remember, we were not allowed to, it was against the law for us to learn to read or write. And now when you say old school, we have to remember we didn't have any school. So we must teach our young folks not to say old school, but begin to use a positive terms in terms of supporting and building up our educational system and getting some of these crooks out who wanted to take the taxpayers' money and build up the arenas and sporting events and such as that, rather than our education system.
Tax and capture.
Lastly, I would like for you to add the monopoly that the DTE has in the city, in our city, and also as for Dana Nessel, any and all investigation regarding our mayor and or former governor regarding the Flint water crisis, the buck stops in her pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying that.
For bringing your wisdom, your knowledge, and your experience to us. Here, we need it greatly.
Thank you for calling. Wow, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Dana
you.
Nessel took the Flint investigation and sat on it again and dropped it. And let Rick the Poisoner Snyder and his other henchmen off the hook for poisoning a whole city,
Yeah.
Flint, Michigan.
So what you need to think about is if it comes time for her to run again, if she's not term limited, you need to look for somebody else to vote for.
Right, and then even if she's term limited, follow her. Don't look everywhere she go, dog her out. Don't let her forget. Don't let the world forget that she let a poisoner go.
Yeah.
And this is what they're saying to our people, is we can poison you at any time. The government will endorse it and back it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
These children the people of Flint are poisoned by lead. They don't get out your system.
Right.
It's going to cause all kind of problems, learning disabilities, etc.
Yeah.
That's on the low end.
Right.
And this is mass murder, manslaughter, as far as I'm concerned.
And we have to look at the fact that what will happen to these children as they try to function in a quote-unquote normal society when they are debilitated by neurological, educational, and other impediments that the government allowed to happen in the guise of we're going to switch over the water, we're not going to use quality materials in terms of coating the pipes so that we don't have to worry about this leaching into the system. But now we speak of Flint, but this happens all over the country. It's the same thing with, it's environmental pollution. We have to deal anywhere there is a concentration of African Americans, and I will say poor Americans too, because they don't count. Even poor Appalachian Caucasians don't count either. They just as vulnerable as us, because the government is run by those who have the corporate money the industrial money, the political money, or the blocks that support them. We have to look at this is a national crisis, but we're still going to deal with home because this is something most of us can relate to. So let us bear in mind that what happens to these children, whatever money they give them is not going to be enough for them to live a long life and a productive and constructive life. It's just not going to happen.
And then when they had those behavioral problems, first thing the police wanted to do is shoot you dead, like they did the young man over on, what's his name, Porter Burks. They shot this young man 19 times. They expended 35 bullets right here on the west side of Detroit.
Right.
Okay, and we still don't know the police officers' names. We need to know who they are.
And didn't get the full video, as I remember.
And as Theo has said in past shows, but it's always relevant, when Engler shut down the mental facilities that at least allowed some measure of help for those who were disturbed and just cast them onto the street, they became, as Sister Tahira just said, the police are quick to shoot first and then ask questions later when there's no questions that need to be asked.
And he had a pocket knife. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bitty knife. And now we paying $50 million to Jeffrey Feiger and their family. And then don't forget about Asia Miller, who was killed in her home right around that time. They ran up in her house and killed her. The police did. We don't know. I don't
think they ever got a videotape on that, right?
Yeah, they did. They
did?
had the police outside, hiding by the tree, and then she cracked the door open, and they bust in on her and then shot her in front of her family and kids. Now, one thing I want to say is all of this trauma is hurting us as a people mentally.
Yes.
My auntie lived across the street, and I said, Auntie, did you see, rest her soul? Her birthday was the day before mine, was the other day. So she had to hit the floor. And we always hitting the floor due to the American government and police forces in America. This is a human rights violation. We're not even going with civil rights. But I said, Auntie, did you see what happened? She said, I'm not trying to watch nobody get shot to death. I'm like, I was wondering if you had hit the floor. Well, I don't want you to watch that. But that's trauma. That traumatized everybody in that neighborhood. People could have got shot and killed. There were bullet holes in the buses that were across the street. They have buses that the guy owned. Anyway, we were going to talk a little bit about melanin before we go. Is it too late to mention?
We got about 9 minutes.
Wait a minute, but let me say this. When the military persons come back from the war, they suffer from PTSD. The family members also suffer from PTSD because they're trying to help their father, uncle, daughter, recover, and they too have it. It's the same thing with police killing people in the community. Those who see it, the children who see it, the parents who see it, are still suffering from the trauma that they experience. So I just had to put that in.
That's heavy.
It is real. It is real. Okay, now you wanted to talk about...
Well, I mean, you dropped that big, heavy bomb on us. I don't know. I think I want to comment on that one there, Queen Mother.
Go ahead.
That you are speaking of how that has lingering effects.
Yes.
And we first we got the enslavement of our people, selling off of our people, being made to work to death from sunup, from can't see at night to can't see in the morning to can't see at night, beating and splitting up our families, taking us from our motherland. Okay, and stolen and brought here, and don't know whether, and thrown overboard. The sickness, disease, and brought here and sold and raped. The Black Legacy Coalition. I love them and us. I'm part of the members of the Black Legacy Coalition. We had to go and demonstrate against our Charles H. Wright Museum because the white corporate people that took over our museum brought in Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, that they called her Sally Hemings. She was probably named Oshawa. But, okay. But, you know, they said that she was a willing participant while Thomas Jefferson raped her and made her have his children. So, you know, we're under constant abuse, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
And Theo,
Right.
what I
Yes.
want to share with you is we're down to 3 minutes, and I know we got to give out that valuable information on how to contact Hood Research, become a part of it, etc.
Absolutely. We invite all of you to become a member of Hood Research. The annual membership fee is $20. Lifetime membership is $300. You can contact us in a number of ways. We have an email, which is contact@hoodresearch.org. Again, CONTACT, the @ symbol, HOODRESEARCH.org. Contact@hoodresearch.org. There is a telephone number for Hood Research, of course, which is area code 248-234-2371. Again, area code 248-234-2371. We have a Facebook page, Hood Research Facebook. We invite you to follow us on Twitter, which is now X. You know, it's crazy things going on in this world. But we also are going to have a meeting. We're hosting a meeting on the second Friday of May, which is the 10th of May, 6 p.m. The location is area 13721. That's the address. 13721 Joy Road. It's just a little west of Schaefer. We support the Mumford Marines, who are black veterans. They put their lives on the line for us, so we put a few dollars on the table for them. 6 p.m. on the 10th of May.
Who will the guests be?
The Wayne County Treasurer,
Eric
Sabree, will be there with us. And like I always say, you don't have to know everything. You just need to know how to find what you need when you need it. And we at Hood Research seek out as much as we can to share with you, and we encourage you to share with us, the BD.
And I want to say thank you to our callers, Helen and Sly Soul. And I always say at the end of the program, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished.
Absolutely. And remember, FEMA is here, and it's user-friendly. And sadly, they're tearing down Malcolm X School.
They tearing down Malcolm X School?
Yes.
I went by it
Oh,
recently.
they're rebuilding it though. Paul Robeson, Malcolm X?
No, the Malcolm X is on, what is it, Illinois Grand River area?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Not
Let
the
me
one
give
on
my
Linwood.
email address if it's
Absolutely. Of course it's okay.
okay. Okay, it's KEE, M as in Mary, B as in beautiful, A as in alpha, 69 at yahoo.com.
Again?
That's KE and another E, M as in Mary, B as in beautiful, A as in alpha, 69 at yahoo.com.
Okay.
And we will see you all next week.
All right. Peace. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am the BD Impinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback.